by a man named John Richards. There are 5 floors to the house, including the cupola or lookout point on top, 3 levels, and the basement below us. There are 57 rooms, including hallways and closets. The wall coverings and floor coverings throughout the house are not original. They have had to have been replaced. Only the nursery contains original wallpaper, and I'll point that out as we go along. You can see in the corner the coat of arms of the Richards. They were a family of English descent. Keep going. Brought here by barge through the Great Lakes and from Milwaukee to Watertown over the Plank Road. It's a specialty item for Watertown because it is believed to be the first that was brought to town. We have 60% of the family's original furnishings. The rest of the pieces and a lot of what you're seeing today has been donated by other families in the Watertown area, like this table and mirror made out of hand-carved walnut, given to us by the John W. Cole family. As you look in that mirror, that's about a 150-year-old mirror. The reason it's still clear today, it doesn't turn you blue or bend your face up, is there is gold in the backing of it that has preserved it. Now, as you look at the sides of this table, I want you to notice there are 4 different faces on the sides that represent the 4 seasons. This one is winter and fall, spring and summer. Abraham Lincoln signs the Emancipation Proclamation on a table very similar to this one.
Wow.
On that wall, we have a picture of John Richards, the man who built the house and designed it. He's again in the center with his sisters and brothers below him. Off on the left, we have his diploma. He earned in 1833 with a degree in law. He did not really practice law because he thought it was a dishonest business. The wrinkliness of the diploma is because it is on sheepskin. That's why we have the term today, he earned his sheepskin. That is how you received them back then. They weren't on paper. On that wall, we have a painting of Moses Richards, the eldest son born to the Richards family. They had a total of 8 children born to them. You can remember that by the 8 sides to the house. That painting was achieved by a peddler who came to town. He painted the backgrounds and bodies ahead of time, and then you chose the one you liked and he would fill your face in on it for you. So there really wasn't a dog in the family. Oh, we have Rose Rogan. You'll notice she watches you wherever you are in the room. That's called vanishing point perspective. It's achieved by 2 tiny white dots near the top of her eyes. Change what song you wanted it to play by the levers on the right side, and you'd wind it by this lever on the left side. That they performed in the house back then. Several of the pieces in this room are original to the family. Lots of them are covered in this horsehair fabric. After time, that would dry out, get brittle and break, sticking up like needles and pins. Being uncomfortable to sit on, they would recover the chairs, keeping one uncomfortable chair for a corner. If Junior misbehaved, he'd get his time out and literally. The fireplace is made out of 4 separate skins of timber wolves Mr. Richards shot on the property and he had made into this rug. The fireplace is the only one in the entire house. It is made out of New York marble and was given to them as a belated wedding gift from Eliza's parents. The way they heated the house was by a large centralized wood-burning furnace in the basement. Heat ducts run through the 4 walls that surround the spiral staircase in the center of the house. You can see one of the heat ducts behind the chair. In addition to that, each of these large rooms, 4 of them to each floor, had their own wood-burning stove. We've taken the one out of the music room, but you'll see a lot more as we walk through the house. On the walls, we have several family photos. Again, John Richards, the man who designed and built the house. On the other side is his wife, Eliza Forbes, Richards after she married him. In the center are her 2 parents, Moses and Eliza Forbes. In the corner, we have one of the Richards' daughters, Mary Alice. Her last name became Green after. We have a photograph on this wall of the family enjoying a meal. Yes, there's extra chairs and a leaf, but we've taken them out for space reasons. This set was bought in Milwaukee. Mr. Richards was a wealthy man in Watertown, and Watertown was the 2nd largest city in the state of Wisconsin, so he was pretty well known. What wasn't known about him is he was kind of eccentric. He would go around with straw stuffed in his boots, a rope belt, and a floppy straw hat. Dressed like that, they thought he was some kind of hobo and tried to throw him out of the store. He then mentioned his name to the owner of the store, who replied, "Let him have whatever he wants. He's good for it." Pieces that you have to buy today for those little ones. They need everything in miniature. And a watch. On the front here we have a bell given to Mrs. Richards by a slave, whom she gave food and lodgings to one night. A year later he came back from Canada to give her the bell in thanks for what she had done. I have the blueprints here to better illustrate all these facts. To each floor you have 4 large square rooms, triangular corner rooms filling your edges. The grand spiral staircase runs through the center of the house, with the 4 walls that surround it containing your chimneys and your heat vents for the heating system. The measurements of the house are 50 by 50 feet in any direction. The outer walls are made out of 3 layers of brick. The outer brick you can see is Milwaukee garden that she originally planted, and it is still in bloom today. It bloomed about 2 months ago and it was lovely, all in pink.
Oh, neat.
The Lincoln bedroom at the White House that we have photographed here, as well as all these furnishings are from the 1860s. I used to haul furniture for a living, so I appreciate that no one got killed bringing that upstairs. What they did is they had a pulley system that would bring it up onto the outer deck, then through the French doors. Yes, doors. The majority of our windows are doors, being because they would tax you for how many windows we had. Turning them into doors, he cut his taxes in half. In the corner, we have a washstand with a pitcher and a basin. To the front is a soap jar. And next to the bed here is one of my favorites. It is not a purse, money bag, coat of arms, or a bib. It does not open up, and it's kind of stiff. It's situated in front of the lamp. What do you think it does? Yes.
Reflect the light?
Not quite reflected. It kind of shields it like a lampshade.
Heats up?
No, it doesn't heat up. It just protects you from the glare of it.
Oh.
But another thing is ladies back then would wear heavy makeup to cover up birthmarks or different defects on their face, and their makeup was wax-based, so they would melt like a candle if they got too close to something warm. Kind of like the wicked witch on the Wizard of Oz. This room here is our Watertown room. It shows you a lot of things that we are famous for and things we have made, such as bricks and propellers and golf ball washers. Not only made beer, but ice cream. As I'm on the note of ice cream, I have over here a Mullen's Dairy Milk Box. Mullen's is still in business on Main Street, a wonderful place to go for a sandwich or some homemade ice cream. I'm an ice creamaholic, so I go there often. We have been in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most bars and churches per capita. Also, we process tobaccos into cigars. That's the way that went. Timothy Johnson was the founder of Watertown, coming here in 1836. He wanted to call this Johnson Rapids after himself, but got outvoted from all the Watertown, New York. Back down our 54 steps. Remember, there's another 14 steps we're going to take to the basement. Here we have a Dutch oven. You can bake 24 loaves of bread at one time. The way it works is she would build a fire on the inside, and the bricks that line the oven would heat up. Just as the fire was going out, she would quick scrape out the ashes and stick her loaves of bread into bake on those hot bricks. When the bread was done, the bottom was usually burned or dirty, so she would cut it off, and the family would eat the upper crust. The basket here was given to Mrs. Richards by an Indian, whom she gave a fresh loaf of bread to one day. Behind this wall is kind of another holding tank for the water system in case there was overflow from the tank upstairs. The excess could come down here. In case this got so full, there was another excess overflow that would take it down to the river, so they never had to worry about flooding the house. The faucet near the floor here, on this level, is where they got their water. This is the cleaning end of the furnace where they come in on the back wall. We have a large ice saw used to cut ice off the rivers and the lakes. When they got the ice into smaller chunks, a man would deliver it to your house daily to put it in your ice box, your old-time refrigerator. Center stage, we have a very, very nice washing machine. Usually you get your large bucket, wringer, and scrub board to wash your laundry with. On the wall of a lion used to be a weather vane on Harding's Brewery before it left Watertown. Most of our breweries left Watertown during the loaded the furnace on. You can see the opening was much larger at one time. They downsized it in later years because they converted it to a coal-burning furnace instead. Round-top trunks were usually owned by wealthier people back then. It would take more to make one, so it would cost more to buy one. And if you consider stacking luggage at a boat or a train stop, a round top wouldn't stack so well. So it would end up on top. Getting off, you would get your luggage back first.
Alarm?
An alarm system. The guys who knew all the codes to how it worked died, so it was of no use to them as well as updating. So we ended up with it.
Neat.
We have a much more up-to-date security system.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for coming today.
An awesome tour.